extent, you're bringing back the entire offensive line, Mill Valley, of your state championship title team. Your seniors, too.
Yeah, they got some good beef in the front five, and I think they're going to mix things up a little bit, sending linebackers, trying to confuse Hayden Jay. But I think here, maybe if you were a little bit closer to the sticks, you might look to target Preston Oliver here in the red zone at 6'4". He's going to be matched up with Jace Osborne, who's only 5'11". He's coming in close, might see him here.
Hayden Jay drops back. He wants to throw. He's got a receiver a little bit too high, but almost pulled it in. That was number 82 over there for Mill Valley. That was Blake Nice again. Just like you said, Chance, big 6'2", 230. And, you know, it looked like it would have probably been about 10 yards too high, but somehow Nice went up and made contact with the ball, but couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, Nice has been a favorable target for them so far. He's already gotten 3 looks his way out of their 4 passes. He seems to be someone they want to go to in the passing game, especially so close to the end zone here. I would imagine him or Parker Oliver, or Preston Oliver, sorry, gets targeted here.
3rd and 8 from the 11, 9-8 on the play clock. Hayden Jay, single back set to his left is Baker. Jay's going to roll out to his left. Now look back to his right. Wide open is Tristan Baker, and he walks in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Mill Valley.
It's that play action. You're going to boot away to try and pull the linebackers with you, and then you just dump off the screen to the running back. You're starting to see that more and more here in college football and in the now trickling down to the high school levels. Just a way to get your best players the ball and get some blockers out in front of them. You know, we talked about you want to see Tristan Baker in space. He's really good when he's got the space, but right there, it's so hard sometimes when you're trying to get it between the tackles.
See the extra point attempt forthcoming. Kenton Lawman, junior, is 6'3", 162, continuing the long line of good Mill Valley kickers. And that is good.
No, they waved it.
They wave it off?
Yeah.
Indeed they will. And uncharacteristic for this Mill Valley team that we've seen over the years, usually pretty solid on special teams, but not this time. And, you know, you look back and as the game progresses, Chance Lebo, you might look at little things like that, or even really, you know, the Ravens did a great job on that series. You know, the momentum was certainly with Mill Valley. They had it to start at the 21, and the Ravens made them earn it.
Yeah, every single inch there. I mean, we've seen them get a stop on 4th and inches so far, or get really close to getting another 4th and inches. I mean, they're really battling well, and you like to see that from a team that comes in as underdogs. And Mill Valley, this is where they expect to be. They expect to be out in front, and looking forward to see how both of these teams respond. I think that this is a big test for Coach Clark's Ravens, how they respond to adversity. This is a team last year that lost quite a few games in, you know, I wouldn't say blowout fashion, but where it wasn't as competitive in the second half as you'd like it to be. I think that he's trying to instill a little bit of a toughness here for Northwest, and this is kind of a tempo setter, I would say.
Look at a young coach like this. Of course, he's taken over for Bear Hafner, who's moved on to Branson High School, the head football coach down in Branson. Watches this on replay, and I know a lot of these coaches around, they have such strong bonds and relationship with so many of the players. We're probably going to tune in tomorrow morning and take a look at it. Shout out to Bear Hefner as the pick now for Mill Valley. First one went into the end zone. This one not quite as deep. That's going to be returnable out to the 10-15, and not much more, maybe out to the 19, depending on the spot, and that's where the Ravens are going to have it 1st and 10. Down by 6 to the defending state champions, 3:33 left to play here in the first.
This is where you'd wonder what they try to do offensively. Do they keep trying to go to the ground and pound between the tackles that really hasn't been working that great? Or do they try and spread them out a little bit into the stuff we kind of saw from them last year with getting Micah Geary involved as well as Max Keller, 2 of their best guys in space? And, I mean, we like what we've seen from Eric Butler. He's been really good. But how far is he going to be able to take you against a team like Mill Valley who can compete between the tackles with them?
You know, one thing that's kind of interesting that jumped out at me on the 2 deep is the Ravens have 2 running backs that were both all Sunflower League players.
Yeah.
Butler and Keller. See how they get them mixed into the action. Single back set. Quarterback going to keep it, and not enough time for him. He's going to be brought down by the Land Sharks. Number 8 got to him first. That is Truman Griffin. That's a name that we're probably going to hear a few times throughout this contest. brought him down, but a little discussion. We've got some yellow hanky on the field.
Yeah, Truman last year, 10.5 sacks for the team, led the way for them. He's a force on the interior, and you know, you see a lot of guys in the inside that are run stuffers. He is agile and really athletic as they're going to wave off the flag, it looks like.
And our rules expert, Dean Blandino, and being told that we're audio difficulties. Reaching out to him. But later in the broadcast, 2nd and 17 right now. They're certainly not going in the right direction. But we've seen they have the ability to make big plays.
Yeah.
Let's see. Twins reserve 2 receivers at the top, 1 to the bottom, single back set. Pass out to the left. I think that was going to be tipped at the line. God, I think that was number 6 from Mill Valley.
Would have been Jaden Woods, it looks like, the sophomore defensive end. I think they're really high on him. You know, a program like Mill Valley, you don't see a lot of young guys playing as soon as he is right now. Looking forward to seeing how he grows with this team.
3rd and 17 from the 13. Big third down play. Of course, that's so cliche. They're all big, but certainly for a Raven team that's down by 6, the defending state champs, with 3:08 left to play here in the first. They'd like to get maybe half of these and see what happens here. Single back set once again. Butler immediately to the left, twin receivers to the far, single to the near, and we have, I think they're going to blow that one dead.
Looks like a false start. Yeah. Mill Valley is showing a lot of different fronts right now, and it looks like it's really confusing that front 5 for Olathe and Northwest. It could be an issue. We know that Coach Appleby loves to, you know, get a little bit creative in the front with the athletes that he has, like Brock Worcester is very good, Noah Coy, super athletic linebacker. Those guys both are good enough to rush the passer as well as drop back. They get really creative and exotic in their blitz and pressure looks.
Brock Worcester. We certainly don't want to have Miss Worcester come up here as she's done in the past.
Gotcha.
And give us the right act. It's, yeah, certainly there's Trey. Now there's Brock Worcester. Faithful, nice handoff there to Butler, and he gets tripped up. If he could have got past that first line, he certainly had a lot of green in front of him. But good job to the Mill Valley defense.
Yeah, we've seen, that was the first play of the I formation we've seen since their first drive. You know, coach wants to come out and run it between the tackles, have an identity between the tackles, and you know, he's kind of going away from that here as Mill Valley, I mean, that's kind of their strength right here.
Back, timeout. Yes, indeed. Well, with 2:31 left to play here in the first, Mill Valley right now sitting on a 6-0 lead. You were watching it live right here at A10varsity.com. Into that timeout chance with 4th and 20, and what do you know, we come out of it, it's the same situation now for the Ravens, going to be punting out of their own end zone. I believe that's number 7, J.C. Osborne, 5'11" senior. It's away, nice punt. That's going to take a friendly Raven roll all the way back to around the 46-yard line of Mill Valley. Good fortune right there, Olathe Northwest. Trivia question for you, Chance.
Love it. I'm ready.
2000. Well, let me ask you this. How many times have these two teams faced one another on the gridiron?
On Max Preps, it was twice, and Mill Valley going for their first win against the Ravens.
Indeed, you are correct. Mill Valley 0-2. Should be noted that both of these teams come in without a loss this season.
Yeah. We don't have week 0 in high school football, although that would be pretty awesome. I would enjoy that a lot.
wants the Mill Valley offense. Let's see what this defensive front can do again for the Ravens. See if they can do something here to cause a turnover. Be adjacent here to the
They're running out of time on the play clock. They got to find something.
Those early season miscommunication snafus are wide open over the middle, 30, 25, all the way down, breaks the tackle, 15. He's still on his feet and finally brought down at the 9-yard line. First and goal, Mill Valley. That's big old number 19, Hayes Miller, the 6-foot senior getting it done. And the biggest play for either team from scrimmage at the 2:13 to go mark in the first quarter.
Now this side of the field, I think they're going to try and target Preston Oliver here. They got press coverage, but they are covering double with the safety over the top. You know, this side of the field, this might be an opportunity for them to go up to their big red zone target.
Tristan Baker for the right side. He's kind of dancing there. Got turned around. Do-si-do, Parmenade, and maybe gain of about, they're going to mark it just inside the 5-yard line.
And this is where, as a fan or a spectator, you really worry about fumbles down here in the red zone. You got guys that are really trying to fight for those extra yards, get to the goal line, and that it's not the first hit where the fumble gets forced. It's always that second and third guy there that's going to punch it out.
13 on play clock, plenty of time. Handoff, Tristan Baker, his second touchdown of the evening, puts Mill Valley up. So it is 12-0, 1:34 left to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice play there. Olathe Northwest really not holding their gap responsibility there. They come out and they really just run upfield, allowing the underneath play there for Tristan Baker. An excellent call there for Coach Appleby, and definitely going to look to expose that later, I'm sure. They are very focused in on Hayden Jay, making sure that he's not able to get comfortable as a runner. I mean, he was so good for them last year, third on the team in rushing, scored 10 times on the ground, and they do not want that to, be their fate again tonight.
Looks like Mill Valley is going to try to make it 14-0, going for the 2 here. As the coaching staff, the Ravens, with a little clarification there. Not what they wanted. Against the Ravens. Frustration right there. Showing up on Olathe Northwest. It's likely they'll look to take that on the kickoff.
In that situation, they have not gotten past their own 30-yard. Now you're going to be getting probably pretty rough field position after it's enforced on the kickoff. Those are the yards that, in week 1 you definitely notice. They come into effect later.
Hasn't started, a few more substitutions. Hayden Jay walks over to Coach Appleby. Coach Appleby's on the field right around the 20-yard line, marking out a couple orders. Now it looks like they have the right personnel in there. I do not see the kicker. Kicker is now he's being sent back. There's communication over there, but again, this is week 1, first quarter. Now the play clock ticks.
They've got ball left hash. They want to go maybe to the right side here. Look for Preston Oliver on the backside.
Looks like the coaching staff at Mill Valley over there is extremely pleased with what they see, but advantage Ravens gives them another opportunity to kind of set things up and see what they can do here.
And I don't think it'll matter in the grand scheme of things in tonight's game, but when you get later in the year, those are the kind of, they've already had to take 2 timeouts and we're not out of the first quarter yet with play clock issues, communication issues. It may not matter that much in tonight's game. When you get into those week 6 games, later in the season, those are the kind of games that could, or, the mistakes that could pose an issue.
Tristan Baker responsible for all 12 points that we see on the scoreboard right now. Baker comes into this contest, he's just a junior. 5'9", but he certainly plays like he's a senior plus. A lot of playing time last year. Tiger Baker. 34 left to play here in the first quarter. Now, after a teachable moment, I guess we could call it.
Yeah.
There over on the sideline. Hayden Jay now out of the pistol. Single back set, just behind to his right is Baker. Jay's going to keep it. He's looking for a receiver. He's got one over in the corner. That goes right to big number 19, Hayes Miller, who got it done with about a 40-yard gain to set him up to score. And Hayes Miller responsible for that catch and 2 more points for the Jaguars.
Yeah, guys are starting to, show a little bit who is going to be the go-to target for Hayden Jay this season. And it looks like right there, Hayes Miller seems to be an early favorite target for him.
14-0, 134 left to play here. Nice crowd in Olathe. We're here at CBAC, the College Boulevard Activity Center. Always do a great job whenever we come out here. Great hospitality. Great facilities here in Olathe. Last time that we were out here was against Olathe East. Last time, if I remember right. Of course, a long time athletic director over there, Caleb Staubel, moving on to Wichita, running the athletics down there. Shout out Caleb Staubel, certainly one of the best. Athletic directors here in the metro area switching jobs or just retiring. Shout out to John Johnson out of Shawnee Mission South, a longtime athletic director. Been involved in high school sports at any point over the past 20 or 30 years. You certainly know the name of John Johnson. He's retired.
Okay, so maybe the penalty was on Mill Valley. So I apologize for messing that up.
Yes, Lebo.
And now, that's a great break here for Northwest. They're going to have probably their best field position so far, unless, we've seen a kick out of the end zone already. We could see something interesting.
She didn't say Jaden Hill. Now that would be embarrassing. Back deep now for the Ravens. Looks like
Chalk is
30.
Yeah, that's Noah Chalk.
Yeah, indeed it is. Nice kick, fielded at about the 4-yard line, brings it out to the 20, and he is stood up by a couple of white jerseys there. He's going to feel that one in the morning, but great job of holding on to that.
Sophomore Andy Watts, sophomore receiver, making some special teams plays. And that's what you like to see from the young guys, getting the, where I went to school, the young guys always played on special teams just because, there's an opportunity for them to letter. And we had a lot of guys playing both ways, so getting us off the field as much as we could. So, that's what you like to see. Those are the guys that are going to come. He may not be playing that much offensively right now, but 2 years from now, who knows? He could be a big impact player for these Jaguars.
And for that return man, J.D. Shade, he's just a 5'8" sophomore, but that hit is going to be one that he remembers, and it's going to kind of maybe encourage him in the weight room just a little bit. 1st and 10 Ravens. Hand off. Yeah, let's see. Call that one dead. False start on the offense. And once again to start, let's see, this will be their 3rd drive of the game.
Fourth drive.
Fourth drive, beg your pardon.
Yeah, and the best field position of the game for them was that first drive where they had a touchback. Now they're starting at their own 15 after they got the penalty on the touchdown.
Justin Duckworth with a big fullback. He's coming over to the sideline, presumably to bring in another receiver, but they're just going to go out of the eye and under center right now. It's Koloka. Out of the eye with the fullback right behind him. Eric Butler in the eye, and Butler's going to get the carry, and he is, kind of an ankle tackle right there. Drew got but maybe Noah Coy, one of the standout defenders here for the Jaguars. But Butler has really struggled to kind of get past that first line. If he can break 1 or 2 tackles, look out, he's going to be gone.
Oh yeah, and he is tough to bring down. There's not many times that he's going to be ankle tackled tonight, I would presume. And now you're starting to see them go back to that high formation, their bread and butter, see what they can get out of that.
Tied into motion to the right side.
Loaded box, 9 guys in the box.
And off to Butler again, and there he goes! Into the second wave right there, past midfield, over to the 40, 35-yard line, 34, in Jaguar territory. That was Eric Butler getting it done for the Ravens. 1st and 10 Northwest.
Yeah, a little bit of a counter play right there. Cut back to the left side. Linebackers, you got to be aware of the cutback play. And now they're going to bring in the scat back, Max Keller, to get a quick break for Eric Butler. but that's the play you like to see, something like that opening up that we talked about, the bread and butter. These are the kind of plays that you need to be able to rely on. They're the first plays on Coach Clark's play sheet. He needs to be able to say, okay, here's the plays that I want to run that I know we can get 5 yards with.
Backup quarterback Merrick Reinert.
He's their starting receiver. Yeah, I was confused in the huddle the first time he came in. It was after a sack, and I was a little puzzled.
Once again, same formation out of the eye, and some more.
Going to get a delay game or a timeout.
Indeed it will, and that's certainly not something you want to see if you're a fan of the Ravens here.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Great run by Eric Butler to put him on the right side of the field, if you will, if you're a Raven fan. That penalty backs him up to around the I'll call it right at around the 40-yard line of Mill Valley. It's going to be 1st and 15.
Yeah, he's on the sideline getting some water right now. Conditioning will definitely be a factor tonight.
And the 14-0 score that we had just moments ago is going to stay, and that's going to do it for the first quarter of action here in Olathe. Mill Valley, the defending state champs, up by 14 over the Ravens of Olathe Northwest, and you are watching it live on 810varsity.com. First quarter was the Tristan Baker show for Mill Valley. Puts them up 14-0 as we start the second quarter. Ravens now still with the ball in Mill Valley territory. 1st and 15. Quarterback rolls out to his right. He's got a receiver just over the line of scrimmage and in and out of his hands. Would have been a pickup of about 7, but couldn't hold on to it. Brings up 2nd and 15 from the 40.
Yeah, right now Ryan Kawoka is running for his life. There has not been much protection in the passing game for him, and that goes to credit. This is a very, I'm not trying to, slander any of the offensive linemen for Olathe Northwest, because this is a really good defensive line for Mill Valley on both sides. Grant Rakowski, I think is how you pronounce it. He was an all-Sunflower League honorable mention last year. We already spoke about Truman Griffith, who's been really impactful today on the interior. There's that triple option look.
Nice, he's got a little bit of room over the left side. And that is number 22, getting his first carry of the afternoon, or evening rather. That's Max Keller. And that's quite a 1-2 punch for these Ravens.
Yeah, that was the triple option look they tried to run earlier, fumbled on. That's where you get the discipline involved defensively. Everybody has an assignment on the triple option, and the triple option tests the discipline of the opponent defense. And they did a good job right there of getting the ball out quick, making sure they couldn't play both the quarterback and pitchman. And they're driving right now. Gonna need a conversion here on 3rd and short though.
3rd and 1 for the 26. Eric Butler to the left. Ryan Kawoka.
Pressure look here from Mill Valley.
2-1, they get the play off, and in the backfield, stood up, and he probably lost about 1.5 yards, 2 yards. But credit that front line of Mill Valley for keeping Butler at bay, and that's going to bring up 4th and, what do you call it, partner, about 2, 3?
4th and 5 is what it looks like.
4th and 5.
Yeah, Noah Coy really did an excellent job there shooting the C gap. They sent 6, they had 5 in protection, and numbers game, and It's going to be hard to bring down Eric Butler, but a very excellent job there by Noah Coy, who is going to be an impact player to watch out for today. Both of the linebackers, with Noah Coy and Brock Wooster at linebacker.
Indeed it is. Big fourth down, 4th and 4. Maybe trying to go for a hard count. They're going to go for it. Quarterback getting flushed out to the right side. Locke, he's trying to find a receiver. He's got one at the end zone. Overthrows him, but he might have just earned himself a pass interference call. Typically, that's the kind of call that's made there when you see the hanky in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably either going to be a hold or a pass interference. Either way, we're looking at a first down for Olathe Northwest. And I just don't know. I mean, in Kansas high school, it doesn't have to be a catchable ball, but I did not see too much contact there. But granted, hey, it's week 1 for us in the booth. It's week 1 for the players on the field as well as the officials.
Well, we're about 200 yards away, but certainly closer than last week. It's a long way over there at Breakdown. And that can be watching from a trailer, basically. 4th and 4.
Going to get a replay of downs. What are we? Oh no, they're just going to mark it off. They're going to get the 10 yards. So I think it'll be a hold, is what they call it.
Looks like they're motioning offsetting. Sure, that could have been the case, but very fortuitous there for the Ravens, and that's really exactly what they needed to try to get back into this contest. 14-0 in favor of Mill Valley, but now 1st and 10, knocking at the door of the Ravens. 10:55 left to play here in the second quarter. Well, we set it on the left hash now. It's been a real treat to watch from this vantage point, the left side of that offensive line for the Ravens. Really doing a good job. And there's another one. That, I think it was the second time.
It was Nathan Leeper, left tackle. Got a little bit giddy. And like we said, 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Olathe Northwest so far. It has been trouble for them, staying consistent. And I mean, this is a team that's, kind of ushering in a new era with head coach Lauren Clark. But definitely need to see something here in the red zone. This is where you need to capitalize and score some points. And, I mean, we're only in a 2-score game. A score here would be very, very key for them.
Clark, they'll have film study with the Ravens tomorrow, whenever they have it, and that'll be certainly a teachable moment. He's going to get that down from the backside, the blind side, doesn't get a sack, but certainly caused enough disruption in that pass attempt.
Mikey Bergeron rushing off the edge to safety. They walk their safeties up real tight when they're in that I formation, and they sent the safety blitz with Mikey Bergeron, the senior. Really good last year, all Sunflower first team at the safety position. He could be an all-state guy this season.
He has found the turf more than a couple of times today, and we're just at the 10:51 mark left before halftime here, but he's certainly doing a good job of staying strong in the pocket.
You want to stay ahead of the chains. A team, an underdog here in this game, you want to stay ahead of the chains. They are way behind the sticks in 2nd and 15.
Watch Mike and Gary up there at the top. Watched him in pregame. Not sure if he's the fastest Raven on this squad, but he's got to be awful close. Mike and Gary, the 6'2" senior, comes in at 165. That young man certainly has some wheels. Speaking of wheels, let's see, that's a good segue for that.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Yeah, thanks. I was hoping you'd bail me out there.
No, I'm not.
How about this is a really good game so far here at Seaback. Beautiful Olathe, Kansas. It's a good time. We're getting some messages in from the viewers. We always appreciate that. And a request to say a happy birthday to Linda Roth. Linda Roth is now turning 62 years old. Happy birthday, Linda Roth. Shout out to David Trimble. He's turning 18 today. He's probably part of this student section out here.
Yeah.
And they are having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Waited for this game this night for several months.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like high school football.
I tell you what, we've just been handed an estimated attendance figure of over 4,400 people here at Seaback. 4,400 people in attendance, and quite frankly, I think they might still be rolling in. But the Ravens now trying to keep this drive rolling. Not going to get it done on that one. but they did try to go up top to Geary, but just a little bit too hot. And how could it not be? I mean, Ryan Kawaka is just under so much pressure. He doesn't have enough time.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the credit has to go to not only this defensive line, this front seven, but also to the defensive coordinator, the defensive coaching staff for getting these guys ready and really doing an excellent job up front of giving different looks to a really young offensive line.
Indeed, that is the case. And folks, if arm was hit and he was falling to the ground, but he did a good job of getting rid of that. But that's going to bring up 4th and 15 now for the Ravens. 10:43 left before halftime. And for the Raven faithful, that one certainly hurts. A chance. What are they going to do here? Are they going to go for this one, Chance?
Looks like they're going to kick it. This is the kicker, Noah Conover. Senior, 5'6", 135 pounds. Looks like the holder is going to be Micah Geary, the all-league wide receiver. Rushing to get the right unit on the field.
4 seconds, 3, 2, are they going to get it? Snap, they will. Kick is up, and the kick is, are they going to say it's no good? A little bit to the left. It had the distance, but just a little bit skewed to the left. That's going to preserve the shutout here for Mill Valley so far, at least. 14-0 is your score. Now, those of you that are just tuning in, probably you're looking at the score thinking, oh, goodness, what's going on? Is that Chance Lehman running the production? Well, no, folks. It's yours truly here, and try to do a good job of making sure everything is set up correctly. Making some adjustments right now. Better reflect the score. The score is transposed here. See that fixed terribly. How about that? There it is, just like that. Mill Valley 14, Olathe Northwest 0. Mill Valley, Hayden J gets it to Tristan Baker. He gets tripped up. Gain of about 1.5, 2 yards. Going to bring up 2nd and 8 for the Jaguars.
Yeah, they're going to really try to hammer the ball home here with Tristan Baker. I would expect to see him get a bulk of the carries. Maybe we see a little bit of a Marion Graves at the running back position. They are the Northwest defense is doing an excellent job of keying in on Hayden J, not letting him use his legs as a quarterback. So it's not going to be him running the football. We might see a little bit of jet sweep action. We saw Hayes Miller get some carries earlier. Will be interesting to see how Mill Valley responds to some of the defensive pressures they're bringing.
Jake Brand, a little bit of movement there. This time it might go against Mill Valley. I saw a little bit of movement there by the tight end or the right tight end slot. Let's see that, Blake Nice, and he's going to, that'll be a teachable, coachable moment in film. He's going to push the Jaguars back a little bit, 2nd and 12, and what would now be a perfect time for a big turnover forced by this Raven defense.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch these two big fellas right in the middle of the line, 99 and 98. One of them is only a sophomore, but he comes in and what was that?
6'1", 240.
My goodness, 6'1", 240. Hayden J drops back. He's got a receiver wide open. Is Baker out of the backfield, all the way into Raven territory, down to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10, Mill Valley. Tristan, he doesn't have to shake on that one. But Tristan Baker pulls it in, turns on the jets, and he turns it into a big gain for Mill Valley. 1st and 10, Jaguars, 9:56 left before halftime. And the Jaguars are now in Raven territory for the 3rd time this evening.
So coming into today, the only player with the reception in previous games for Mill Valley was Tristan J. 1 catch for 1 yard last season. He's going to be a big player for them in the passing game as he gets another carry. And you're starting to see this Mill Valley offensive line really start to wear on this, bigger front seven of Olathe Northwest. It's going to lead to some more opportunities like that for Tristan Baker.
Another 1st down run for Mill Valley. Clocks are running, 9:32, 9:31 left here before halftime. 14-0, Mill Valley over Olathe Northwest. Hayden Jay takes a snap. He's going to keep an eye. I beg your pardon. That's a little handoff again to the left side to Tristan Baker, gain of 2.
Seeing a lot of Tristan Baker here so far, and I think that it's going to stay that way. You know, it's week 1, and Coach Appleby has got a lot of, bigger games left on the schedule. I think he's going to try and keep the playbook limited to just maybe a page and a half today. He doesn't really want to open it up and get too creative today with a 14-0 lead here in the first half.
This Raven student section right below us here. Not a single one of them have set down yet. I think they're waiting for the first score, but right now Mill Valley is threatening to score. Hayden Jay takes it himself over the left side, gets it down, punches it through to about the 14-yard line. That might move the chains again. Yep. See what they say.
They're going to move them. And you see, just when you focus in too much on Tristan Baker, Hayden Jay comes out and gets a big run like that. This is a good I almost said two-handed punch. Yeah.
Two-headed, was it like a two-headed muscle hamster chance?
Yeah.
Hayden Jay hands it off to Baker, and this time that defense of Olathe Northwest, they smelled that one cooking and snuffed that one out. No gain on the play. That's going to make it about 3rd and 5 from the 18-yard line. Looks like maybe they spotted around the 14. Did that get enough for a first down?
They lost it.
I was going to say, I thought they did. All right, now make it 2nd and 11 from the 19. Hayden Jay going to keep it himself. He's got a receiver and a nice grab down at the 2-yard line. That was Hayes Miller, and talk about someone, there's so many playmakers on this Mill Valley team, but Hayes Miller is not necessarily someone that you would expect to make all these plays, but that's exactly what he's done here tonight.
Well, I'm sure Coach Appleby is very excited to see one of his young receivers stepping up. Hayes Miller has been a big playmaker for them here in the red zone, had a big play earlier, and he also had Preston Oliver open for a touchdown if he wanted it, but looking to his favorite target so far.
14-0, Mill Valley threatening to add to that lead. Handoff Baker, will he get in? Awful close to the goal line. They're going to say he was just shy. Going to mark it right around the half-yard line for Mill Valley, but they are threatening now to go up by 3 scores. 7:30 left to play here before halftime.
This is where that beef in the middle comes into effect for Olathe Northwest. We talked about Chase Burns and Jake Brink. They can make it very difficult for them to score on the interior here close to the end zone.
Tristan Baker now moves to the right. He's going to be the lead blocker for Hayden Jay, and Hayden Jay punches it into the end zone. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Hayden Jay with his first touchdown carry of the season puts Mill Valley up 20-0 with 7:11 left before halftime.
And you're starting to see them get comfortable and pull away a little bit. Big test for Olathe Northwest. Don't want them to, lay down a little bit, but you're starting to see some frustration on the sideline. We talked after that first turnover about, their emotion here in the student section on the sideline. They were really pumped up, and now the body language is just not as, as good as it was earlier. And I can't blame them. I've been in that situation before, but.
Day of my life, my friend. Now as Mill Valley comes in, try for the extra point attempt, and for the first time this year, they've connected on that bonus point, make it 21-0, 7:11 left before halftime, and you were watching Mill Valley and Olathe Northwest live right here on 810varsity.com. ArlingtonVarsity.com. Also your source for scores and updates throughout the evening. Scoring updates. Olathe West down to a 12-0 lead over Free State. 12 the Owls of Olathe West. Aquinas, now here's one for you. St. Thomas Aquinas 21, Blue Valley West 0. That's a second quarter score. Timberwolves of Blue Valley Southwest and Blue Valley Tigers are all tied up at 14. Second quarter score. For you here after the kickoff. Call that one, but it's taken by a nutback around the 25, and he is pushed right back. Made a couple of forward yards, but Blue Valley's defense on the return said not so fast, my friend. Ravens are going to have it 1st and 10 from their own, I don't know what you say, Chance, but the 27?
Yeah, well, that's pretty generous. They're going to give it at the 28. Best starting field position of the day for them, pending a potential false start delay game penalty.
Not exactly sure what the student section is booing about, but there's a lot of them coming out there.
Yeah, maybe the principal or assistant principal showed their face or something.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Indeed. 1st and 10 Ravens. Hand off to the left side, and once again, nothing doing. Eric Butler's trying as he might, but as you see Butler going into the line, he is doing everything he can to protect that ball, and we've seen some of the kind of the old Peanut Tillman punches come out here early, and one of them resulted in a fumble.
Oh, yeah.
Forced by the defense of Mill Valley.
Yes.
6:40 left before halftime. If the Ravens can put together a sustained drive here and punch it in for some points, just kind of that little momentum shift before halftime, that'll bode well for him in the second half. Kawoka steps back. He's got a little bit of time. He's got to keep it himself. This time out to around the 34-yard line, and that young man, hats off to him. He shows no fear when he runs with the ball.
Yeah, he got popped right there twice. And, yeah, very tough runner. Just 5'11", 200 pounds. Takes a pretty good hit from two linebackers that are, pretty good.
I need an ice bath tonight myself just watching this, this senior signal caller, 5'11", 200 pounds, Ryan Kawaka.
And this is the third down opportunity you want. 3rd down and 4. This is the best opportunity that they've had to convert on 3rd down today.
9 seconds, 8 on the play clock. And there's a little bit of movement, and I think Mill Valley was trying to say that the right side of the line for the Ravens moved just a little bit, and they're going to back up.
And you just hate to see this for these kids. I mean, there's so much inexperience on that offensive line. We talked about it in the pregame. We've talked about it today. A bunch of new starters on the offensive line, and you can tell that Mill Valley, their defensive coaching staff, they smell blood in the water. They are going to send pressure right now. Now you have a 3rd down and 8. They are going to send I would assume they're going to send at least 6 guys here. Would not be surprised if we saw Noah Coy come off the edge here from linebacker. They're showing it with 2.
They are. They're going to back it off. Fumble, ball on the turf. Mill Valley thinks they have it, but it looks like the Ravens got back on top of it. And, a fortunate roll or bounce, if you will, for the Ravens, but certainly not how that drive, they didn't want the drive to end quite like that in that fashion.
Yeah, you had a 3rd down and 4 opportunity, your best starting field position of the day, and it just does not go as planned for them.
21-0, 5:13, 5:12 left before halftime. Back for Mill Valley, 29-19. It's Dylan Massey, and they're going to let that one go. That's a nice punt, and it takes a great Raven roll all the way inside the 10-yard line. Not sure why they were in such a hurry to get on that one from the 8-yard line, but great special teams effort there for the Ravens.
We talked about coaching opportunities. Probably got some young kids on the field that, maybe don't understand what punt coverage is. But, yeah, we've seen a couple really good punts so far. The first one was kind of a little end over end, only went, I'd say probably 25 yards. These last 2 punts, hey, you want to look for bright spots in a 21-0 ball game? You're punting the ball very well. Field position matters.
21-0 is your score, 4:53 before halftime. Mill Valley is going to start at 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line. Chance if you're Coach Appleby and the staff for Mill Valley, what are you looking to do here with 4:53 left before halftime?
Well, this is an opportunity to work on, I wouldn't say a 2-minute drill, but you're going to have opportunities like this later in the season where maybe it's, coming into halftime of a close game, or maybe it's the end of a tight game where you're going to have to go down, march down 91 yards in the field in less than 5 minutes, and this is an opportunity for them to get game reps at that. And, you can go over 2-minute drill all you want in practice. These kind of game reps are a big difference and can tell a lot about where your team's at.
Clock stopped after that incompletion. Jay's been pretty sharp so far here for the Jaguars. A lot of favors from his wideouts, but like you said, a little bit early, and right there's another in and out of the hands of the Jaguar receiver. But you know what might have caused that? I think the receiver heard one of the Ravens out there. That might have been number 15, perhaps, of Jacob Viger. About 2 steps away. Jaguars about to get lit up.
Yeah, now it's a 3rd down opportunity. I would say you're probably going to look for Hayes Miller here, your favorite target there in the slot, or maybe you get a screen opportunity for, it looks like Sidney Lockhart has just checked in at running back for the first time. He was in the play last time. He checked in for Tristan Baker.
They're going to throw. Hayden Jay has a wide open receiver here on the near side, and I believe that is number 13, Tate Nicola, the big target, 6'3", 180 senior for Mill Valley. And he makes his first reception of the contest at a perfect time for the Jaguars.
You love to see a quarterback and his, new receivers being on the same page. Hayden Jay let go of that ball before his receiver got out of his break on that out route. That is perfect chemistry right there. Being on the same page, that's important, especially trying to build a rapport with your new wideouts.
Didn't mean Jaden Hay, right?
No, I did not.
All right, fair enough. 1st and 10 from the 24, 3-2. Get the play off. Tristan Baker back in there, and look at that. Look at big number 99, Chase Burns in there, 6'4", 284, and I would not want to be in front of one of his punches, but he was trying to punch that ball out of the ball carrier's hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just frustration or if, he can tell coach in the film room, hey, I was going for the ball. I was something along those lines. But Northwest is having trouble setting up right now their defense. They are, trying to figure out who's where and what they're doing defensively, and Mill Valley's taking advantage of it on the defensive end, or offensive end part.
We have another flag before the snap. This one's going to go against Mill Valley. Good fortune for Northwest. Going to make 2nd and 5, magically turned into 2nd and 10. Set it again. Now would be a great time for a turnover for these Ravens to get a little momentum before going into halftime.
Exactly.
See some shifting on that defensive line. Looks like Mill Valley's going to go with the 2 tight ends. Well, see, at least initially they were. The officials, one of the crew of officials here, doing a great job. See, we always do here. Guys had a chance to chat with him a little bit before the game. 3:37, 3:36. Clock is running, 20:22 on the play clock. Plenty of time for Mill Valley. Hayden Jay takes the snap, hands it off to Lockhart. Lockhart, I tell you what, he covered a lot of ground in a hurry. It was just more of east-west as opposed to north-south.
Yeah, pick up a 5, you get a nice reset of the line of scrimmage from your offensive line, and that's what you're really looking for. Now you have the ball on the left hash, close to your coaching staff, so they can kind of make some adjustments here pre-snap. Get some guys that you want to see. It looks like they checked Lockhart out. I did not see if Tristan Baker came back in, or maybe they're just going to go empty set and look to spread this team out.
Looks like that's maybe what they're doing here. 2 tight end look.
Against an empty set, always look for something over the middle.
They've had a lot of success at the Jaguars. Hayden Jay, this one, he's going to check that one down.
That was Blake Nice. That was Blake Nice on the outside. He is a little slow to get up.
Got the wind knocked out of him a little bit.
A little hobbled right now, but looks like, are they going to go for it here on 4th and short?
With 2:23, 2:22, 4th and 2, you got to think they're at least going to line up on a hard count, try to get the Ravens to jump. 15-14 on the play clock, plenty of time. Hard count by Jay. Looking over to the sidelines for a little direction from Coach Appleby and crew. 4-3. I think they're going to probably let this one go out, take their final time out of the half, and talk this one over here just a little bit with less than 2 minutes to go before halftime. And the Jaguars up 21-0. A little confusion here.
They only have one timeout left. I think they're going to take the penalty.
They are.
And then kick it away.
Give their punter a little more room, I guess.
Yeah.
To work.
And they could flip the field here. I haven't seen them punt so far today, but they could flip the field here. And I saw Jay working on his punts in their pregame. This might just be a little pooch kick.
Yeah, we've seen this on film where what they'll do is they'll kind of show that they're going to go for it and then back up Hayden Jay. Come in and see another nice punt. Returnable. And that is number 7. He's got a little bit of room. Past midfield, 45-40. Finally knocked out of bounds at around the 38-yard line of Mill Valley. And there's a little shot in the arm for the Ravens with 1:31 left before halftime. Down by 21 to the defending state champs, but they have a golden opportunity here to punch it in the last 1:31 before halftime.
Yeah, big opportunity here. Another coaching opportunity for Coach Clark in his first showing. This is where you try and get your 2-minute drill offense, your quick offense going.
Ryan Kawaka, the senior signal caller, just doing yeoman's work there, the quarterback position. But talk about the All Madden team. He is a gritty player as they go into the power I. Fullback right behind him. Under center might have been a little bit movement on the right side. No flag.
I thought Butler got a
little antsy.
Start. Yeah.
Might have got a little bonus movement there.
It's week 1 for everybody. It's everybody's antsy. The adrenaline is going all the way, and we are lucky to be right next to the Mill Valley coaches. And they were calling for the false start there. It's week 1 for all of us, officials, players, and broadcasters.
Oh, you're not a kid there, Jade Hay. 2nd and 2 from the 28. Taking a lot of time. Not sure why they were taking so much time now. And
then a penalty. That just...
Not sure why they wasted so much time. They're down to a minute 2. Still plenty of time. But that clock was a-rolling.
Yeah.
Had to have been about, 20 seconds?
Yeah.
It burned off there.
At least.
Now, what they probably aren't noticing is the clock will start. There it is. Now we're under a minute to go here. 2nd and 7 from the 33 for the Ravens. Taking an awful lot of time. 49, 48 seconds left to play before halftime. Finally get it off. Nice little reception over there beyond I'd say about the 26-yard line. But he doesn't get out of bounds, and that's going to keep that clock moving. 34, 33 seconds now. 2-second differential between the play and the game clock.
They've yet to target Mike Aguirre. He was on the far goalpost because he was running a streaker on the other side. He barely got into the huddle there at the end, and they might not.
Look at all this time, 17, 16 seconds left, and they still haven't snapped it, and we've got another false start for the Ravens.
I'd say they're shooting themselves in the foot, but they've been doing it all game. There's no foot left right now.
We haven't got the official stats here yet. We will at halftime and bring those to you, but if my chicken scratches are any indication, and I like to think they're the official, that is the 10th penalty on the Ravens so far with 14 seconds left before halftime.
And I would venture to believe that half of those have come on 3rd down.
My goodness.
Last play of the half, it seems like here, but do they know that?
The clock has started. They are not going to get it. And now finally, it looks like the coaching staff is calling for a timeout with 1 second left to play before halftime. You said it, partner. Certainly this is going to be something they go back and evaluate and see exactly what they could have done a little bit differently when the Ravens are in film study tomorrow. Whenever they do look at that film. that was kind of painful to watch there.
Yeah.
At least a minute 20 just burned right off the clock for a team that was just desperate to try to get a few points on the board going into halftime.
Yeah, they had a great opportunity to put some points up on the board, and it just did not work out for them. Penalties, mismanaged clock, and this is Coach Clark's first year as the head coach in Olathe Northwest. It'll come with time. Head coaching, it takes a little while to get your clock management underway. My high school coach still is figuring it out. He's in year 6 and still trying to figure it out.
I've certainly missed some golden opportunities to get some time in on the treadmill, but I'm trying to learn from those mistakes and put something nice together. A quick mention that during halftime we'll bring you some scoring updates courtesy of 810varsity.com. Search for all high school sports in the metro area. Be an interactive partner.
Oh, I was going to say Mill Valley was about to bring pressure on that last play, knowing that they're going to throw it.
Sure.
And if Olathe Northwest saw that, they might set up a screen here for Eric Butler potentially. Yeah, pressure look here.
Yeah, indeed. Quarterback's going to throw. He's got a receiver down the sideline and no chance. Well defended by Mill Valley. And the 21-0 score that we talked about a moment ago is where we're going to end it after 2 quarters of play here in Olathe. Mill Valley, the defending state champions, over the Ravens of Olathe Northwest, 20-0. And you are watching it live on 810varsity.com. Back with you here in Olathe, a few area scores to bring you up to speed on the Kansas side of things. Blue Valley and Blue Valley Southwest were tied at halftime. Now Blue Valley Southwest is out to a 21-14 lead. Bishop Miege 13, Blue Valley North 7. St. James and Blue Valley Northwest all tied up at 14. Gardner Edgerton 35, Shawnee Mission East 20. Olathe West 19 over the Firebirds of Free State 6. Of course, right here on a10varsity.com, we got Mill Valley up over Olathe Northwest 21-0. Lansing, new coach Rick Pollard over DeSoto 21-13. That's a third quarter score. Pacer Linwood 28, Tonganoxie 13. Shawnee Mission Northwest 17, Shawnee Mission West 0. Shawnee Mission North up over the Raiders of Shawnee Mission South 21-14. Interesting scores there. Some great matchups all across the area. We'll get you to some Missouri scores here after we see a couple of series from each team. Right now, getting ready to watch the second half kickoff. Pleased you're joining us here again on a10varsity.com. Sean Brewer, Chance Lebo, along with Darren Kelo and everybody down in the truck. Chad Rader back at the mothership, and we are underway here in the third quarter. 21-0 for Mill Valley. Returnable out to the 20, 25, 30, and finally tripped up at around the 34-yard line. Nice return.
That was Mikey Bergeron.
Mikey, don't call me Mike. Bergeron, the 6'2", 190-pound senior. Bergeron making a lot of preseason award list for area teams. Let's see what the Jaguars do on their first possession to open the second half here.
I'm curious to see if we'll see a little bit more of a rotation at running back. We saw a lot of Tristan Baker in the first half, and then we also saw at the end of the first half a little bit of Sidney Lockhart at the running back position, provided a good burst for them, and now it looks like it's going to be Tristan Baker getting the first go here.
Tristan shaking Baker, getting at it again, picking up where he left off in the first half, responsible for 2 of the 3 Mill Valley touchdowns in that first half. Going to bring up 2nd and 3 from the 42-yard line. Just underway here in the third quarter, 11:26, 11:25 to play. Student section of Olathe Northwest are still hopping and jumping here. Hand off to Baker, and he's got enough for a first down, plus a couple more. Tristan Baker loves to lower that shoulder and just barrel his way through. Certainly an impressive feat considering the beef of that Raven defensive front. But they are, if you like to watch trench warfare football, you know, we talked a lot about the Raven offensive line, that defensive front four in the first half, but they might be getting a little bit gassed because to start this third quarter, the offensive line, at least that on the near side of your screen, is absolutely having their way with that guard and tackle on the opposite side of the line for the Ravens.
Yeah, and the problem is that it's the one thing you cannot prepare for at all. You'll always be less prepared than you think for week one in conditioning. Because once that adrenaline rush of the first, 2 drives goes, you're going to be exhausted.
And off this time, nothing doing. In fact, a loss of about 5 yards for Baker.
We've seen Lucas Conover make some big plays defensively. You mentioned him before. Very stout at the defensive end position, someone who they're looking to continue to improve on at the defensive end position at 5'11", 220 as a senior. Not much experience on the defensive line, but a definite bright spot there for Coach Lauren Clark's Ravens.
And Chase Burns, the big 6'4", 284-pound senior, was fired up after that play, giving a lot of high fives to his teammates on the line. Jay drops back. He's got a receiver under pressure.
Oh, man.
And somehow, some way, pulling that in for a big gain and another first down is number 14. That is Preston Oliver, using all of his 6'4" frame. Somehow, not exactly sure how he was able to thread that through the needle, Hayden J, in order to get that to Oliver.
Just dropped it right in the breadbasket. Preston Oliver, definitely going to be a big target for them here at 6'4", 180.
This one's a handoff to Baker. He's got a little bit of room, and there he is again. And I wonder if he hit his, he would know more than anyone, but it kind of looked like his knee hadn't touched the ground. Go back and look at that on this replay. It's actually
I like what we're seeing offensively from them so far here in the second half. Offensive line's getting a good push. They're mixing in some passing plays, and a lot of it is building that rapport with Hayden J and his receivers, who, we talked about it earlier, that they really are not familiar with each other that much. They graduated all but one catch from last season's team, so definitely going to need to see some improvements there.
Two tight end set, but this time it's going to go to the top of your screen, into the end zone, just out of the outreached hands of Preston Oliver, trying to go right back to big number 14 to close out this drive for the Jaguars. Couldn't bring it in. Going to bring up 3rd and 5 from the 21-yard line. Yeah,
Hayden J showing some confidence right now in his arm, and I like to see them just trying. You're up 21. There's a little bit of just seeing what you've got at the position of receiver.
3rd and 5 on the blackjack. Tristan Baker to the left of Jay. Jay hands it off to Baker. He's got a little bit of room up to the 15, all the way down to the 14, maybe the 13 for Tristan Baker. That's going to move the chains. Mill Valley's going to have it 1st and 10. They will be able to get another first down if they need it from right around the 13-yard line. Mill Valley wasting no time, getting right up to the line of scrimmage, going into this big formation, and a timeout being called. Flag in the end zone. We've got, I think they just finally got it off, but that kind of caught the Ravens off guard.
Yeah, they had their 3rd down pass rush team in there, and they were trying to sub back in their base package, and good awareness right there for Coach Appleby and these coaching staff, as well as the quarterback Hayden J. 3rd year as a starter, as a senior, he's seen it all, and he knows what he's looking for.
You think about what kind of speech the coaches gave at halftime. Partner, I'm here to tell you, you played some ball. I played a little bit, not very well, but I did back in the day. But I can tell you one thing that's for sure. You make a couple of mistakes in the first half, and the coach has an opportunity to spend 10, 15 minutes letting you know about it at halftime. Well, you're not going to make that same mistake in the second half.
Yeah, I've seen some whiteboards that have been altered physically that probably will never change again.
Indeed, that's the truth. It's 1st and 10. Mill Valley. Go for the same look, 2 tight end set. Single back is Baker.
No Parker Oliver in the game right now, although they do have Tate Nicola, another 6'3" target split out wide to the near side.
And Parker Oliver will not be back into the game for the rest of the night, but Preston will.
Sorry.
A little handoff end around. Let's see who that was.
Hayes Miller.
Nice bring that right there by Krishna. Boy, you know what? Shavuru. My apologies to the Shavuru family if that is butchered. Once again, if it's right, I'm Sean Brew. If it's wrong, it's Chance Nebo. Krishna Shavuru did a great job of tracking him down. Stop a big game from happening. 2nd and 6 now for Mill Valley. And what do you know? As we kind of ended the first half, Chance Lebo, we saw a bit of laundry on the turf. And we're starting to see a little bit more of that here to start the second half.
Yeah, that one just getting a little bit too excited. That was Chase Burns up front, the big man. And, that a lack of discipline can come from some fatigue setting in right now. This has been a pretty long drive for Mill Valley, and, those beefy guys up front, they're going to be the ones that are suffering the most from it.
And Chance Burns, he's a big fella, but he is absolutely fired up. Now, the coaches can work on those, that movement there before the snap, and there's a handoff, and they're going to get it in. And that's Tristan Baker in for his 3rd score of the evening to put Mill Valley up 27-0 at the 8-minute mark. Left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, great hole opened up there. That was the right side. Jack McKinnon as well as Ty Marsh getting a good double team on Chase Burns and opening up a hole for one of the best backs in the Sunflower League, Tristan Baker. And he's making a statement tonight that he is forced to be reckoned with.
Number 21 with essentially 21 points. Responsible for the lion's share of Mill Valley's points. thorn in the side of the Ravens. And a botched snap, but Hayden Jay picks it up. He's scrambling, trying to get it somewhere to convert the 2-point attempt after the botched snap, but they're going to bring him down. And we look for bright spots, and you certainly look at that as possibly something that could just kind of get him jump-started a little bit, Chad Sabo.
Yeah, and I was a field goal holder in high school for my high school, and they always told me, okay, if anything goes wrong, just get the heck out of there and throw it to the goalpost and hope that someone's standing under there in the right color jersey. And I mean, in that situation, I don't think in Kansas you can run back a 2-point conversion attempt on an interception.
Right.
So, I mean, why not just get rid of it if you're Hayden Jay? Go throw it up to one of your big guys.
And like we've said most of the evening, some more of those teachable, coachable moments in film study this coming week.
Hey, I will say, Hayden Jay, he doesn't need to work on that kind of stuff. He's very good. I think his holding priorities are probably the least of his worries right now.
Jay being more hotly recruited quarterbacks in this area. Offers out there so far. There's going to be a lot of these players on both squads that will eventually find their way to play on Saturdays. Always fun to watch. Looking at this Sunflower League and some of the talent that they have this year, not only on these two teams that you're watching today, but had a chance to watch Jordan Allen at the A-10 Varsity Combine here a few months ago up at Children's Mercy. What is the complex? The soccer complex up there by the Legends. And, he is every bit the athlete that they're making him out to be in the recruiting rankings.
And it's a big reason why he's being pursued so hard by K-State. I think Oklahoma's getting in on the conversation as well. He's one of the best players in the state. This is a really good class of players in the state of Kansas for this year in football. And you've seen K-State snag a couple of those guys. Dylan Edwards heading to Notre Dame. There's some legitimate talent in the state of Kansas as seniors this year, and a lot of fun to see. Hopefully we'll be able to see a lot of those guys play this year.
Speaking of watching them play, as we see the kickoff here for Mill Valley, see if they can get it back in the end zone again. They do. Probably going to go ahead and take a knee. Yes, they will. No, they're going.
He called their catch.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I see that one over there. That little razzle-dazzle play was coming our way, but speaking of
27-0, man.
You just don't know anything to get the jump start, but players we see. My partner had a chance to see the quarterback recruit out of Mays High School just a few months ago in the state 5A basketball championship.
Oh, yeah.
And he certainly did not disappoint. You talk about those Jordan Allens and the athletes like that. And Avery Johnson is one of those that they're real twitchy and that just oozes athleticism.
Oh, yeah.
You watch him, and somehow just by watching, you gain a half a second on your 40-yard dash.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch, and looking forward to seeing what his future holds at Kansas State.
Out of the eye, once again, a handoff. That's going to go to Butler. It's Eric Butler this time coming just a little bit easier for the senior tailback. Bring up second and about 5, maybe 4. Nice run there.
Yeah, nice hole opened up on the left side. And that's kind of their larger side of the offensive line with Augie Rice at 6'1", 250, and Nathan Leeper, who's had a couple penalties called on him, but he's one of the better tackles on this team and a bright spot for them. The only underclassman on the starting offensive line.
Forget about Josh St. John. 6'0", 235 pounds. You'll see another run. This one right at the gut. Not a lot there. A short gain. It's going to bring up a manageable third down play for the Ravens.
And the key to that is keeping it manageable. You have to make sure that you don't listen. Coach Appleby's going to throw some kind of stunt up front, some kind of pressure look from his linebackers, his safeties. He's going to try to confuse you up front. You cannot let that cause a false start, and then you get behind the sticks, and now they're really chomping at the bit. They're pulling at the leash, trying to get the dogs barking.
Dogs barking. Massage. 3rd and 1 from the 29. Ravens trying to keep their drive alive. Hand off to Butler, and it looks like he's got it, and just a little bit more. Call it a skosh more, but that's going to be good enough for a first down, and that is the first down for Olathe West since early in the second quarter. And, look for signs of life out of this offense, and there's one right there.
If I'm not mistaken, that's actually their first third down conversion of the game. I might be wrong there. Maybe I'm forgetting. I think they might have had one on their first drive, but, staying ahead of the sticks, doing what you do best.
once again out of the eye. Haven't really gone to the fullback much. They're not going to go this time. And not sure what that was, but I think it was a pass batted down. But at the same time, it looked like possibly kind of lost the handle on it, did Ryan Kawaka.
Yeah, he was trying to get the screen out to his receiver on the far sideline, and I just don't think it was open. And
yeah, that could have been bad news for the Ravens right there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot going on in a little bit of area.
And now they're back in a familiar territory, 2nd down and long, and that's not where you wanted to be.
5:49, 5:48, ticking away here in the third quarter. Appreciate you joining us, 810varsity.com. Ravens and the Jaguars. Got a good one for you here at Seaback. 2nd and 13, another handoff. And it's going to be about 2nd and 13, or excuse me, 3rd and 13 here for the Ravens as they try to keep this drive alive and get a little momentum going on offense that possibly their defense could feed off of as well.
Yeah, and they need to get something going here in the passing game. I would look for them to take Micah Geary, their top receiving target, but maybe we see a screen for either Max Keller or Eric Butler, one of their 2 really talented running backs. Take advantage of the Mill Valley defense being aggressive and try to get some kind of, take advantage of it with a screen or some kind of draw play to throw them off. And maybe if they do something right, they won't do it again.
Lucas Conover, of course, one of the two-way players, doing a great job at the center position. Under pressure, can he get out of there? He does a little bit. He's getting it back up. I'd say around the 35-yard line. Still going to be 4th and long for the Ravens, and here comes the punt team once again.
Jaden Woods, the sophomore defensive end, is not going to get credit for the tackle on that play, and we talked about him. He's a sophomore at 6'3", 220, one of the up-and-comers in the state of Kansas. Could potentially, I would expect him to be a future college superstar, but he rushed the passer there and forced him to evade the pocket. He may not have gotten the tackle, but he's going to get a nice pat on the back from Coach Appleby.
Ravens with the punt. They had a 69-yard punt in the second quarter. This one not quite as far, but it does back up Mill Valley. They're going to start their drive here, second of the third quarter from about the 40. What are they going to spot that at there? I'd say, well, they keep moving around.
Yeah.
We're just going to say somewhere between the 50 and the goal line. How's that?
Yeah.
A couple of scoring updates for you, brought to you by e10varsity.com. A lot of great matchups on both sides of the state line in the Kansas City metro area. Number of schools featured in the 810 varsity top 25, including Blue Valley Northwest and St. James. They are all tied up at 14s. More on that in a second. 1st and 10 from the 34 for Mill Valley. Trips to the near side, single to the far. And we have movement on the line once again. They're going to say false start, and we've got the Mill Valley coaching staff to the adjacent suite up here at the palatial Olathe Northwest press box. And they are certainly not happy. We can hear them when they're not happy.
I always wonder, what our coaches were saying when I was in high school. If I was right, I can only imagine how many times my name came up in those press boxes in the same kind of tone we're hearing right now. And this third quarter is flying by fast, already down to 4 minutes here in the third quarter. The first half, it felt like it kind of dragged on a little bit. Penalties sure didn't help that situation.
1st and 15 now. I think this is going to be in a nice turnaround. And somehow the ball's on the oh, my gosh, the ball is on the field, and it might have just gone out of bounds.
Yeah.
Boy, how about that opportunity for the Raven defense? They did a great job on that kind of that second level tackle, but the way that the ball bounced this time was so fortuitous to Mill Valley that they got a first down out of the deal.
Yeah, Marion Graves getting his first carry of the game. You'd see at the college level, after fumbling on your first carry, he may not get another touch the rest of the day. But, yeah, very nice job breaking away from the linebackers, getting into that second level, and that's what you like to see. We talked about it earlier in the second half. Who is going to play some running back in spell for Tristan Baker, try to get a little bit of a rotation here in the second half, take his pitch count away.
3 receivers to the top of your screen. That's going to be another handoff to the left side, and that does go to Marion Graves, but Coach Appleby saying, you know what, young man, you're going to get right back on that horse and ride it again after it bucked you off, and you kind of let that ball out. But good learning experience for so many of these younger players on the roster.
He's got a little bit more lead in his boots than Tristan Baker does. Brings a little little bit more pop behind his pads at 195, and I mean he is a stout 195, built very stout at the running back position. A little bit of a change of pace potentially.
Like a muscle hamster?
I wouldn't say that.
And apologize if you apologize for the profanity. Again, we're adjacent to one of the coaching staffs up here, but fortunately for the players, maybe the fans, there are no windows that open up.
Yeah, it's old bet.
27-0, and that just, the mentality of, those championship caliber teams. You're always trying to sharpen the saw. You're up by 27 points, first week of action, and you're basically treating it like, hey, it's a 0-0 game.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they get to where they are. Hayden Jay with a quick pass over the middle.
That was a nice catch in traffic there.
Good catch with the hands. He didn't catch it into his body, and
that's Andy Watts, the receiver that made a big play on the kickoff, the big hit on the kickoff earlier that we mentioned. And I said, he's a sophomore. He may not be getting a lot of reps on the offensive side, but making a play on special teams, maybe that led him to get some reps here with the first-team offense. 3rd
and 4 from the 40 for Mill Valley. Handoff. Is that Graves again? He kind of spins around. He's got enough for a first down and a heck of a lot more. Inside the 30-yard line, going to be 1st and 10, Mill Valley with 2:20 left to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing out of Hayden Jay in the zone read game. Not being indecisive. He's very decisive with his reads, and it's making some big plays for his running backs. The threat of him running is keeping this defense on their toes, and it's opening up big holes for Graves and Baker.
Twins to the near side, single back set. I think Jacob Viger in there again. We've mentioned his name a couple of times, as well as Kyle Souders, the big outside linebacker, 6'2", 180, in on that play as well.
Well, you're starting to see that offensive line start to wear down this defense. Jack Melvin, Jack McKinnon, both doing excellent jobs at the guard position. We might as well just call it the Jack position. We got 2 Jacks in at both guard positions.
And stood up at the line and pushed back for no gain and making about a 2-yard loss. Marion Graves would like to have that one back. He didn't get a chance to get going before he was absolutely stopped by that fearsome front four for the Ravens.
So it looks like we got a tweener 3rd down here. Not really running territory, and also not for sure passing situation. We'll see what they do. They've got some younger guys that they're trying to rotate in on the receiver position. Cooper Schreiber in the game, as well as we mentioned Andy Watson at slot.
3rd and 4 from the 21. You got to think this is at least 2 down territory as well. And Marion Graves, he's kind of like a pinball down there getting bounced around. He's like one of those Weeble wobbles that they just won't fall down. But he finally did get brought down by that Raven defense, and that might have been Mr. Conover again doing the work.
Yeah, Chase Burns laid the last stick there. He's been all over the field tonight. I've been really impressed with how he's played. Coach Clark just kept talking about how well he's practiced and how much of an impact he's going to play, and I've been liking what I've seen from him.
4th and 6. Mill Valley showing that they're going to go for it, moving a lot of personnel around. Trips to the near side, single back set to the right of Jay. 5 on the play clock, 4, 3. They do get it off. Jay rolls out to his left, looking for a receiver. He's going to cut back. He's going to try to keep it himself. And is he going to get inside the 20? Enough for the first down. Depending on the mark, they're going to give it to him. 1st and 10, Mill Valley, from right around I'd say about the 14, 15-yard line. And how about the athleticism of Hayden Jay?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten much in the zone read game or the designed QB run game, but those are the kind of plays that are so hard to make in space. You can practice tackling in space as much as you want, but we talked about it in week 1. It is so hard to do, especially Hayden Jay, $185. Chase Burns is about 100 pounds heavier. Jack Brink about 60 pounds heavier. He's definitely got the advantage in the agility category there.
Well, after a couple of Chick-fil-A sandwiches tonight, I'm going to be a couple pounds heavier myself. And we're going to take a little bit of a break here because we are done with the third quarter. Enter the fourth quarter with the score, 27-0. Your defending state champion Jaguars of Mill Valley having their way right now against the Ravens out of Olathe Northwest. And you are watching it live on a10varsity.com. Welcome back to Seaback in Olathe. We're at, well, they call it the, what did they call it here? I heard somebody earlier mention it's the Olathe Triune of some sort, but we are at Olathe Northwest High School at Seaback, College Boulevard Activity Center. As we enter the fourth quarter here between the Jaguars and the Ravens, 27 points separate the two teams, advantage Mill Valley. Mill Valley pitching a shutout here so far. And right now the offense for Mill Valley on the field, and they have got the Ravens back on their heels at the 16-yard line. Hayden J takes a snap, another handoff right at the middle, and he's got a lot of room. Marion Graves all the way down to the 1-yard line, and he was just a skosh away from punching that one through for another 6 for the Jaguars.
And it wouldn't be week one without a cramp by an offensive lineman, and I don't want to speculate on it.
That's a great time to mention the great job that all these athletic trainers do week in, week out, the trainers that are there during practice and games, and they're going to be there at the training table tomorrow morning nursing any injuries, and there's going to be several bruises. Of course, you're going to have that in the first week action. It's one thing to hit your friends in practice. It's totally another to be hit by someone from an opposing team. Seaman, 58, Topeka West, 14. Bishop Miege, 19, Blue Valley North, 7. Blue 14, that is early in the fourth. St. James and Blue Valley Northwest tied up at 14. And Aquinas, 28, against the preseason number 4 in the 8-10 varsity top 25. The Jaguars of Blue Valley West, 0, 28-0. Kind of a surprise there. As we wait, Mill Valley inches away from another down on the season, puts Mill Valley up 33-0 with 11:50.
For the second running back position between him as well as Sidney Lockhart, and I like what I've seen out of both of them. They're very different players, of course. Marion Graves at 195, Sidney Lockhart coming in at $165, but they both provide something different when Tristan Baker needs a rest.
The snap is clean, the hold is cleaner, and the click is the click. It's week one, my friend.
Yeah.
The kick clicks right through for another point for Mill Valley, making it 34-0, 11:53 to go in this contest at Seaback here at Olathe Northwest High School. You are watching it live on 810 Varsity. Back with you here in Olathe, a couple other area scores. Shawnee Mission North 14. The Raiders is Shawnee Mission South 0. Shawnee Mission Northwest 17. Shawnee Mission West 0. Baser and Tonganoxie in a tight one, but Baser now takes a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter, 28-21. Little flubber kick taken by an up back here. Well, what do we have over here right around midfield? I don't see any laundry on the turf.
I'm not sure.
Well, I can tell you this, that Coach Joel Appleby is on the field, and do we really need to say anything more?
That's never a good thing. When the coach is on the field, which my high school coach seemed to always be on the field, he wanted to get back guys, but it's never a good thing. Usually he's voicing his displeasure with some of his players. You know, I'm hoping, as someone who's kind of got a haul back home tonight, that this fourth quarter is not slow with penalties and stops of play and such.
It's 9:05 here in the Heartland. You got about an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a
back
half
to Emporiaville. A great job tonight here for us on 810varsity.com. Chance Lebo in for the injured David Smith. And that's taken by, I think that was number 7, if I'm not mistaken. That's Jace Osborne. Does some double duty defensive back, and we've seen him at wide receiver here this evening. Brings it back up to just shy of the 30-yard line. That's where the Ravens are going to have it 1st and 10. down 34-0, 11:46 to play in this one.
I'd like to see them get the passing game going a little bit here just to see what they've got. They're probably going to be facing some subs. It looks like some subs are in defensively. I see Sam Coletti down there at the defensive line, as well as looks like Hudson Ivy in at the near side corner. I think that we've got a full second-team unit defensively now for Mill Valley. So,
and how important is that for a team that, striving to win another state championship, to be able to get these younger players meaningful playing time is so critical early in the season. Little handoff to the right side, nothing doing, push back, loss of about 3. That would be a good time to just kind of mention the faithful here of Olathe Northwest. There aren't very many empty seats.
Yeah.
And that's good to see. They know that the new coaching staff is going to need just a couple of weeks to kind of put things together and build on the foundation that Bear Hefner built over the past several years. Future certainly bright for this Northwest Raven team. Little drop and that took a long time to get out here to the near side. And that's Merrick Grind at the backup quarterback, also doing some wide receiver work. 6'2" sophomore. Because that took a little bit longer to get to him, he was being pursued pretty hot and heavy there by a defensive back from Mill Valley.
Yeah, the pass only went 3 yards downfield, but that was a long throw because he had to throw it from the hash to the numbers on the opposite side. That was a long throw. Gave Dylan Massey, one of the only starters still in the game defensively for them, a lot of time to be able to make up ground.
And Massey was winding up, wasn't he? He was ready to lay the wood.
I was a little scared that might have been 6 going the other way.
Twins to the near side. And nobody home. That one was, I'm going to say that one was probably uncatchable.
Yeah, miscommunication, I'm thinking there.
And that's what's going to happen when you have the pressure that this defense of Mill Valley has brought all night long.
Even the subs doing some good work down under.
4th and 11 for the Ravens, deep in their own territory, around the 24-yard line, back in punt formation once again. And I tell you what, this is where they launched that 69-yard punt earlier in the contest. See if they can do it again to flip the field.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good punts going this way. This is the direction that he likes to punt. This is Jay-Z Osborne.
A little bit of a high snap, gets it, brings it down, gets the punt away. Nice punt. It's going to be returnable. This one is returned, well, and he's got a little bit of room over to the right side, cuts back in, and he's into Raven territory. Finally brought down around the 46-yard line. That was number 23.
Holden Zigmant.
Holden Zigmant. He's a 5'9" senior. Getting it done on that return puts Mill Valley in great field position with 10:36 left to play in this one, and the Jags up 34-0 over the Ravens.
Yeah, I know that Coach Appleby hadn't decided on his QB2 coming into tonight. On the depth chart that he sent the both of us, it was kind of listed as an either-or on the depth chart, and we're still seeing Hayden Jay in the game, and I'm curious to see. I mean, he has 5 more rings than I have, so he knows a lot more than I do, but I am curious to see how much longer leash he gives Hayden.
See Sidney Lockhart back into the contest. He's going to be the ball carrier, pipes it down to around the 40-yard line, and he had a straight line to the sideline there. Straight, as one of my old coaches said, just like an irrigation pipe.
Yeah.
Laying it straight out there, follow it just like the flow of water.
Yeah, Sydney's battling with the Marion Grays for that second running back position, and they both provide a different kind of game, and I like what I've seen from both of them.
Twin receivers to the near side, 2-back set, offset eye, going to be a handoff to, I don't know if that's Graves, can't see.
That was Lockhart
yet.
again.
That was Lockhart. But in the ruffle tumble of this Sunflower League, you're going to have depth in order to make it all the way through.
Oh, yeah, and that's why this Mill Valley team has won, 3 straight state championships, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, so 3 straight titles. I mean, they've obviously got key players at multiple positions, and they can go 3 or 4 deep at a lot of different positions, especially a position like running back where you're probably going to have, I wouldn't say an injury, but you're going to have some banged-up players every once in a while.
Lockhart Kind of sliding and slicing through there, but no, was that? Well,
that was Hayden J.
I'm going to have to look at that one on the film tomorrow. It was like a delayed, but it wasn't a handoff. It was like a delayed fake. I wonder if there's a little miscommunication on that play or a little miscommunication in my mind, which is entirely possible. 9:42, 9:41. Clocks are rolling here in Olathe. 34-0. Fourth quarter action right here on A10varsity.com. The number 3 ranked team in the A10 Varsity Top 25, the Jaguars, showing why they deserve that ranking, up by 34 against a very tough, and, they're still playing. You look at this Raven team out here, sometimes when teams get down, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's the send in, the second, third, fourth stringers, and, they're just like deer in headlights. Don't know what's going on, but one thing that you can say for sure, and I think it's a mark of a good coaching staff, is every player that we've seen on this Northwest team is playing all out every play.
Yes, very much so, especially Chase Burns. I mean, we talked about him. He's just giving so much effort. I mean, he has been a very fun player to watch tonight, and definitely a player I will look back on and think about. Big defensive lineman, like, it's not easy to play every single down on the defensive end for 4 quarters against a front like Mill Valley. So definitely credit to Chase Burns so far today.
Lockhart gets the carry, and he gets a first down for Mill Valley inside the 20. Going to be 1st and 10 at 8:33 left in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure who the fastest running back is, because we've seen all 3 of these, and they're not the big bruising, Jerome Bettis type. They're, kind of that quick little scat back. And it's certainly worked extremely well for Mill Valley over the years, and kind of melds really nice with this offense. We're seeing it again here tonight. And that play right there, little turnaround, he's kind of spinning like a top all the way down to the 8-yard line. And that's going to be another 1st and 10, or are they going to mark him just shy of that first down marker? I think they're going to say just shy.
And Mill Valley's still going at plenty of tempo right now. I think that Coach Appleby wants to see this running back 2 battle, play out a little bit. He wants to see both of them get a fair share of carries. And I like what I've seen from Sidney Lockhart. He's got that second gear, and he's got a good transmission. He can get to that second gear pretty fast.
Lockhart gets the call again, spins around. This time he is brought down. I think that was number 2. Was that Eric Butler back in there? And they're coming from his linebacker, kind of his Mike position there, a 6'2" senior. We've seen a lot of him on the other side of the ball, carrying the ball. This time he brings it down as a member of the defense for the Ravens.
Yeah, and there's a lot of two-way players for this Ravens team, and I've been very impressed with a lot of them. We talked about Eric Butler, and he's been doing a lot both sides.
1st and goal for the Jaguars. Taking the long way home is Lockhart. He's not really going to get much there, but he stays in bounds. It's an alert play. It looks like I think he purposely kind of did that too, instead of running out of bounds.
Yeah.
So props to that young man. But the battle of K7, both of these schools separated by, as the crow flies, I would say, what, about 7 miles?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm from Chapman, Kansas. When we start getting to the directional schools where we're talking about Olathe and Northwest, I'm not good with these directional schools.
So we see another handoff, tripped up right around the 5-yard line. And Mill Valley, looking forward to,